Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fast Facts. So, a lot of you are familiar with the fact that I have the Star Wars Theory channel, and there's a series on there that I really enjoyed called Fantasy Battles Versus Series. This is a series I created many years ago. It's essentially pitting together two unlikely members or characters in the Star Wars galaxy that would never have fought, whether they were on the same side or in completely different timelines. I like to bring as much information as I have to the table on both characters and to just have a bit of fun fictitiously and theorize who would win in this battle. So that's what we're going to do today, but we're going to put together the information we have on silverback gorillas and tigers. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine with me. Deep in the heart of the jungle, two titans prepare for an ultimate showdown. The mighty silverback gorilla versus the ferocious tiger, each a master of their domain, but who would reign supreme in a battle to the death? A silverback gorilla beating its chest, displaying its sheer strength and dominance. The king of the primates, towering at almost 6 feet in height and weighing in at a colossal 300 to 500 pounds. This beast is a force to be reckoned with. With a bite force of 1300 psi, you do not want to be stuck in the clenches of a silverback gorilla. Though primarily herbivores, don't let its diet fool you. The silverback gorilla's massive canines can exert a bite force of around 1300 psi. That's enough to crush bones. Its long arms, almost 20% longer than its legs, end in mighty hands capable of tearing apart its opponents with its fingers. And let's not forget that iconic chest beating, a display of strength and dominance that can be heard up to a mile away. But in this corner, we have the embodiment of stealth and power. The tiger. As the largest member of the big cat family, a male tiger can stretch up to 10 feet in length from head to tail and tip the scales at around 500 pounds. So both members of this fight, both gladiators here, are around the same weight. Let's say if we pick the biggest of two. If we pick the biggest for both. The tiger is 8 to 10 feet, including the tail, 400 to 500 pounds for males, armed with razor-sharp claws that can be as long as 4 inches and a bite force of 1050 psi. The tiger is a very deadly assassin. You have to remember, the tiger has been an assassin for centuries, for millennia. It's ingrained in its DNA. Its body is built for the hunt, powerful legs for lunging at its prey, and a muscular body for tackling even the most formidable opponents. So in a battle to the death, we kind of have to put together, both of their qualities here. The gorilla's strength and intelligence might be its biggest asset. So with the ability to use tools and maybe a tactical mind, it could strategize its moves. Maybe it could, hurl rocks at the tiger, try to crush its head with a big boulder, throw sharp sticks or whatever it has around it at the tiger. If it grabs hold of him, it could possibly try to break his bones or his limbs just by pulling on them in the right angle. And don't forget, a silverback gorilla's feet are just as capable as his hands. But the tiger, with its experience as a predatory killer, has agility and a deadly arsenal of teeth and claws on its side. It's kind of dangerous in the sense where you touch anywhere on a tiger and you're going to get cut, either by its mouth, its feet, or its hands. In terms of raw power, the gorilla has the upper hand, but in predatory skill and killer instinct, this is where the tiger shines. So it's a very tough call, and I think it's almost like, having Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting. It kind of depends on the scenario and the surroundings. One, of course, is the master of brute strength and intelligence, but the other is a stealthy killing machine with millennia of DNA that has been shifted and shaped and evolved to be this stealthy predator. So there are, of course, factors like environment, the element of surprise, and the individual's health and experience, which would play a significant role in determining the victor. We can't have a, really old, elderly silverback gorilla against a young prime tiger. They both have to be pretty much in their prime or old or young. So for me, I think if they were both face to face and there was no real element of surprise, they ended up in some sort of a situation where they were both head to head in the jungle, I would have to give it to the tiger. Simply because he can climb trees like crazy, he can jump wherever he needs to and get the high ground on the gorilla. I mean, lunging at the gorilla and, with his head and mouth open, claws out, ready to just rip the gorilla apart, I think he would eventually be able to take him out. However, that being said, if the gorilla grabs him, he's essentially like a giant, extremely strong human with limbs. He could choke him out and keep him away from his face. Maybe he'll get clawed up a bit, but he could potentially win. It's kind of like seeing King Kong versus, some other creatures. However, we've only seen King Kong fight dinosaurs and stuff like that. I think a low to the ground tiger, which can pounce, is a completely different story. So in my books, I would have to say that the tiger would have to win. I think he would just slice up the gorilla too much, causing a lot of internal bleeding and external bleeding. While, of course, the gorilla would break a few bones with the tiger, I think the tiger is just so much bigger and more agile and able to get a very advantageous position on the gorilla, whereas I just don't see the gorilla having the same level of luck. But that's the interesting thing. In the grand tapestry of nature, it's best these two giants don't ever cross paths in such a manner, because they both reign supreme in their own right. So let me know in the comments, who do you think would win? A silverback gorilla or a tiger, both in their prime? I wonder what the comment section is going to look like. Leave a like on this video if you want more fantasy battles like this, and maybe come up with some suggestions for the next video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.